So, Lauren, you've been following the Mike Rogers, Elissa Slotkin race for several months at this point. They had a debate last week. They have another debate tonight. We had a reader who wanted to know a little bit more about the Gotion battery plant. This person said, they asked, why are people upset about a Chinese company opening up a plant if the community benefits outweigh the benefits for the company? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and just to preface that, the reason that it's coming up in the Senate debate is because Republicans and Mike Rogers in particular, as well as former President Donald Trump, have really brought this to the fore. And one of the reasons that this has come up is because of national security concerns, concerns that giving money and access to Michigan to a Chinese affiliated company could spell bad news for national security if there are any any connections to the Chinese Communist Party. That's been a major factor in a lot of these conversations. But underlying all of that, it goes back to an argument about whether corporate incentives are the right approach, whether giving money and tax breaks to large companies in exchange for jobs and whether they're good paying jobs or not. That strategy is something that has given pause to both Republicans and more Democratic leaning folks as well. So that's another aspect of this, just whether providing that incentive to lure companies here when that money could be going somewhere else is another aspect of that conversation. But on the other hand, there is a lot of support, especially among the economic development community, to give these incentives to large businesses. And the argument for EVs in particular is that the market is moving that way, and Michigan could be at the forefront of the technology.
Thank you. And we had a follow-up question from a reader talking about NDAs and Slotkin. Can you just tell us, one, what is an NDA and how is that a play in this race as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another question that's come up, and that actually came up as a point of contention during last week's debate. We'll see them debate again later tonight, actually. So we'll see if it comes up again. But an NDA is essentially a non-disclosure agreement, and it came up because there were some non-disclosure agreements that were signed related to the Gotion project in particular. Now, Slotkin did sign an NDA for a different project that was being considered in Michigan. As she has maintained that she did not sign an NDA that was specifically related to Gotion, and the NDAs that we've reviewed do appear to confirm that. Apparently, one of her staffers did sign an NDA related to that project to get more information, according to the Slotkin campaign. But essentially, the concern that the Rogers campaign is bringing up is that public officials should not be signing non-disclosure agreements and agreeing to not discuss any aspects of a project that could have great import to Michigan. So that's why it's coming up. In terms of the attack specifically, that there was an NDA related to Gotion. She did sign an NDA. It does not appear to be related to the Gotion project specifically.